Okay, so now that we got through all of our what you doing, our extended what you doing, you had something. No, don't be sorry. We got to check in with you guys.
It's always.
I was dragging it out.
It's funny,
because
like-
I didn't turn it over,
Yeah.
Dragged it out.
Turn it
Didn't
over.
pass the torch.
Okay, Gerald, you got something you wanted to talk about?
I do.
Yes.
Oh, yeah,
You
yeah.
have a sheet of paper in front of you.
News! Everyone, I have news.
Okay.
All right, this week Microsoft announced that they are opening up their cross-platform gaming. So they said every new title will have cross-platform
Ability.
with ability with Windows 10 and Xbox. So they've done that with a lot
So
of
you
their
can play
games now.
cross-platform
okay.
between PC and Xbox. But the bigger
So
news...
The bigger news, and this will start with Rocket League, which just came out not so long ago. But the bigger news is that they're opening up to other networks as well. So it's up to Sony to be like, hey, yeah,
Step up.
sure.
Right.
But Microsoft was like, if Sony wants to come out, they didn't say Sony, they just said other networks. But if Sony wants to come out and be like, yeah, we'll allow our games to play here, that'd be huge. That's never happened
Yeah,
before.
but Sony did come out on, I think it was Friday, and made another cryptic tweet or
What'd
whatever. They said basically, we're always interested in working with lots of developers and publishers to be cross-platform like we did Final Fantasy, we did with the PC, and we have Rocket League. They were the first ones to do it with Rocket League through PS4 and PC. But neither of them actually say each other's name. They're just like, hey, we're game if you're game.
Right.
And
Well,
it's
it's
just like,
not really up to them, too. I mean, it's up to them for the networks, but now it's up to the developers to bake that into their games that they
which is
develop.
interesting because you, as a developer, obviously we're getting closer and closer to the singular console, right? Because the actual tech inside of it isn't extremely different, right? The actual
Right.
chips inside of it.
Well, yeah, because now the same chips that power the Xbox and PS4 are CPUs or PC grade chips. So it's
Right.
the same architecture.
So it's easier for developers to do that. But I wanted to ask you guys a bigger question. One, do you think that's a good idea?
Yeah, most definitely.
I don't think so.
Why?
Necessarily. Well, from a financial point of view, as far as like owning a business, if you're now sharing your market share with the other company, with your competition, that doesn't seem like a great idea, right? So before, you had to buy an Xbox if you wanted to play PlayStation or Sony games, and you had to buy a PlayStation and you had to run both systems. Well, now if they're cross-platform, you only have to buy whatever system you like the best.
Not necessarily, because each system will still have their first-party games. Like, Microsoft's always going to have Halo. You're never going to see Halo on a PlayStation. It's just like if your buddy has Madden on his PS4, and now you guys can both play.
Which is, I mean... It's just, I think from a development side, you have to make sure that both games are closer to being identical, like absolutely identical, because the experience...
Most console games are.
No, I know, but I'm saying there are sometimes slight differences, maybe like frame rate stuff. I think they have to make sure.
That's what I would worry about, especially with PC, because it's just not set. Someone could
PC,
have a
you get a keyboard and mouse.
souped-up.
No, but
I'm just saying you'd have a souped up
latency
PC.
issues, yeah.
You could have a much better quality PC than the console. I guess they'd have to bring it down to the lowest common denominator.
Yeah, I don't think that really affects gameplay, though. The only thing that really affects gameplay is input, and that's like keyboard and mouse, especially playing something like an FPS.
right.
Keyboard and mouse versus controller, and keyboard and mouse is almost always going to be better.
But what are we gonna? Then we'll have no more console wars. It's so much fun. Would I hear how?
You'll always have console wars,
I know,
too.
so
Like
I was
said,
gonna
those
ask you guys
first-party
about-
games are huge.
Yeah.
What about like network cards and stuff like that? Couldn't you have like faster network?
It's all gigabit, too.
Wouldn't matter.
It's so
You know,
fast at this point. Yeah.
Yeah, no one has an internet connection fast enough for that even matters.
I was gonna ask you guys when. Obviously now there's like, Xbox and PlayStation, fanboys that will die for a company that did, anyways, but
Get tattooed.
yeah, exactly.
Xbox
My
tattoo
point
on it.
is did you guys have that growing up? Because my attitude was when I was a kid, like if I had a Super Nintendo and I had a friend that had a Sega Genesis or whatever, I was like, oh, that's cool. Like I want to play the games that I don't have. Whereas now it's like, oh, well, Super Nintendo's better. Like I didn't have that as much going on. I don't know. Did you guys have like an allegiance to?
I had the poor allegiance.
Yeah,
So it was
that
the friend
allegiance.
who ever had a system.
Yeah, that was my allegiance.
And if they're like, hey, do you have anything we can play? I got like, sorry. I got like a crappy board game that half the pieces are missing,
Yeah.
But
I
really,
was
like-
almost 10 by the time we got a Nintendo. We grew up with Atari and like in
I had an Atari
television.
2600.
But I mean, did you, even when you had like, because I didn't own a PlayStation 2, I had a roommate that had it, but I had an Xbox, and I did at that time feel a little allegiance to it. I don't know why, but I did feel like Xbox is better. Xbox is better
I never
than
really had.
PlayStation 2.
I always had allegiance for Nintendo, mainly because of those first party games. Like I always wanted to play Zelda and all that.
That's
kind
the
of
thing. Nintendo. When is Nintendo gonna jump on board with like the adults? Like I don't understand.
I think they're better staying out of it. They have such a niche market that they're just.
But it's like
Yeah,
they're
niche market
killing
makes
it.
no money.
I hate to
Well-
buy I don't have a Wii U. I hate to buy a system just so I can play Zelda when it comes out,
It's a Zelda console.
Mario when it comes out.
I had a
Well,
Wii U, and then I traded it in after I think 6 or 8 months of owning it. I never played it.
But I think they've burned that bridge really bad with all third-party developers. So I think they've pretty much just said, look,
I heard they're going to be integrating with phone games. Like they've got a department now that's
they already
making
came out for
phone
their first
games.
mobile. Well, it's not really a game. It's more like a social network. It's called Miiverse.
Yep.
Well, no, they said they're going to come out with like a Mario game that's specifically for
why
mobile.
they can
not?
talk about that, yeah.
Why not? I
Doing
don't
their
understand.
IP.
Pokemon, a
in
new
mobile
Pokemon
developers. Yeah.
just for your phone, and it's not
Yeah,
like
Pokemon Go.
porting. It's not porting. It's like a new whole game. So
Yeah.
that's exciting. I'd like, at least I have a mobile phone already, so I can buy the games. But it's just annoying that they don't market at all towards adults. Like we love the games. Like we grew up with these games. Like we have
But we
the
still
money.
play the games.
I don't.
No,
I-
people aren't. Nintendo is really doing poorly. Yeah, they're.
I mean,
doing
I
really
haven't
poorly.
because I'm just not a gamer like you guys are gamers.
Right.
But I enjoyed the Mario universe or Galaxy or whatever it was when it came
Super
out.
Mario Galaxy.
Yeah, but that was a while ago,
That was a
man.
long time ago,
They've
and
already-
it was really fun.
But I mean, I was an adult. Well, that's what I'm saying.
No,
Like, I still enjoyed the Mario game even though I was an adult.
No, I agree. The games are really fun for adults too, but it's just like if you look at like the Nintendo catalog, it is full of like just crappy kids games. Like Pet's Paws 17. Like,
Right, it's all shovelware is what they call it, yeah.
Really bad games. And it's just like they come out with about 5 good games per console, not like per year.
Right.
Like they'll come out with 5 good games on a console. Yes, Mario Galaxy is a good example. That was one of the few good games for the Wii. Mario Galaxy 2 wasn't that great. It was all right.
And now they get that stigma because there are games that come out. Like there was a Donkey Kong game for Nintendo Wii U. I think it's Tropical Blast. I forget what it's called, but I forgot what it's called because it was a great game, got great reviews, but nobody's playing it because of that. If it's not at this point, it's like, if it's not a first party Mario game, a first party Zelda game, then it's
Smash
you have
Brothers.
your Super Smash, you have your Mario Kart that are huge still on
Mario
Wii U, but their multiplayer is still broken. Like it's still super hard. Gotta trade friend codes and all this stuff.
And there's not enough people playing, like, so you don't get like matches quickly and things like that. Like Smash Brothers, I love the fact that you can play with your 3DS. You can sync it up to the Wii. Like, there's really cool functionality with it in Smash Brothers, but they just don't have
Man, I used
enough.
to play that game like crazy.
Yeah, no, we
Same
played
here.
it on. We
And it's
played it
still
on
fun.
Nintendo
Like I said,
64,
I bought my
GameCube,
Wii U
Wii.
for Super Smash Brothers, and I traded it in because I never.
it's an
played
expensive
it enough
game. It's
Yeah.
like $360.
and Mario Kart, and I
Right.
never played it. So
I was visiting my in-laws and my brother-in-law was in high school still, and he brought out Smash Brothers and he was like, "Oh, you want to play?" I'm like, "Son,
You don't
This
even
is
know.
the
I
game.
don't
to me.
even know." I smashed him.
Yeah, that is always fun to do that. But I'm interested to see how Nintendo pivots because they have had obviously a change at the top and they're starting to make some different decisions. But it's not good that Nintendo's not doing well. Like that's not good because they have some amazing characters. Like I remember reading some article about if they sold the company, like just Mario,
just the IP.
just the IP of Mario is like it's like Spider-Man level of how much it cost. Like.
Right.
So anyways.
Disney should have bought this a while ago. I'm surprised they haven't.
There was a big push that either Apple was going to purchase Nintendo. That's one, it's always
They were
speculation.
never for sale.
No, but I mean, everything's for sale, right? That's the joke, right? Yeah, everything if you offer enough money will be. But they're at a pretty low point right now. I think they do a good job with the Nintendo Direct, which is kind of like their E3, and they do it, I think, quarterly now.
Just when they have stuff to announce.
Yeah, but they've burned so many bridges. They keep showing Zelda. Right. And now they were like, oh, this new Zelda, it's an open world Zelda. I'm like, that sounds amazing. Like a truly open world Zelda with, dynamic AI that does things when it directs you into going to certain temples, pushes like good games do. That sounds amazing. But I've seen the trailer for it for 3 years now. And it's like at a certain point, the hype train runs out of, gas or
What, they're re-releasing Twilight Princess or
they keep doing that. The HD remakes, and that's fine. I think those are all great because at the same time, people who didn't play those get to experience those great games. But I'm not interested.
I played Wind Waker, the HD one on Wii U. It was fantastic.
Yeah,
but yeah, it's getting those
The
people,
ocean
those
looks
existing
really
people.
good.
yeah.
Yeah,
The
that's
ocean's
great.
like so awesome.
I loved that game. I got 3/4 of the way through it. My cousin came to visit and deleted my game and started.
What a jerk!
Yeah, I
That
was
game was
like,
so much
"Are
fun.
you kidding?"
One of my
I never got to
favorite.
play it again.
I just didn't like the traveling around the ocean and looking for treasure.
Buried
It was
treasure.
wonderful.
That was fun.
Getting that booty.
Drop.
I love Zelda, but
But they have their next system is supposed to be, it's codenamed the NX. It's just this year's E3 has to be big for them. Something substantial has to come out of it.
Yeah, and hopefully Zelda is a launch title.
I'm almost thinking
That's what they'll do.
they're gonna
It'll be
push it
like
until
that
next
Twilight
console.
Princess where they had like an HD version and then like a dumbed
I don't
down
think
version.
they'll do that though, because I mean,
They have
Twilight
to.
Princess.
They'll-
I almost think they will just won't.
Maybe.
put it on
You
the Wii
still
U.
rent systems? Is that
I don't think
because
so.
it's
I
like
don't
no
think so.
blockbuster?
No, there's no.
I want
Yeah,
to
find a Blockbuster. They'll do
I
it
know.
for you.
I want
So you
to
have to buy
rent
a Wii U.
Wii U. so I
Build a
can play
time
that
machine.
I don't know.
Speaking,
I've got to figure something out.
Speaking of video games, you had a video game. We talked about it in the Q&A before the podcast. Red Dead Redemption 2.